Okay, so new FRQ. Read slow and careful. The graph of f, this is f, is shown above. Consists of a semicircle and 1, 2, 3 line segments. Read slow. Let G be this formula. So no need to worry, G is just a formula. Find G of 0. So again, I'm always writing, try to avoid just thinking. That means you're stuck and you should move on to something else. So I say G of 0, so I'm going to replace x with x equals 0. Negative 3, 2, 0. This is f of t dt. So I need to find the value of this integral. So I look up. This is the graph of f. I'm starting at 1, 2, 3. So there's x equal negative 3. Going all the way to 0. So this area, shaded in, this area, that's the eraser, sorry. So this area, the value of that area will correspond to the value of the integral below, because for this entire space, all values of f are positive. So finding this integral is the same as finding that pink area. So I divide the area into a rectangle and a triangle. The area of the rectangle is 3 by 1. Therefore, the area of the triangle is half of that. So 3 plus half of 3, which would be 3 halves. You can stop there. You don't really need to keep going. You shouldn't think about it. You shouldn't stress about combining the numbers. That's good enough. Because adding and subtracting doesn't have to, you don't have to add and subtract to get the point. So that was 1 point if you can get that far. If you kept going and you wrote 4 1/2, you'd still get the point. If you kept going and you wrote 9 over 2, you would still get the point. If you kept going and made a mistake, you would lose the point. Okay, now I'm supposed to find G prime of 0. Well, I have this formula for G. And I remember on my golden notes that I have a formula for finding the derivative of an integral. So let's So again, I need to find G prime, which means I need to find the derivative of this. The input variable is x, not t, so I must take the derivative in terms of x. Here's the formula. The golden notes. So G prime of x must equal, okay, f of t means whatever is here, so that's the same. F of h, so the h here is x, so I get f of x. I get d over dx of the upper limit minus exactly the same thing for the lower limits. That would be f of negative 3, d of negative 3 over dx. This is 0, so this is 0. This is 1. So I figured out that G prime of x is just f. And that happens anytime you are taking the derivative of an integral whose lower limit is a constant and the upper limit is just x. I always use the formula just to make sure I don't make a mistake, because if this were x squared, this would turn out different. If these two were reversed, so it were x to negative 3, this would turn out different, so I'm just a little careful. I'm supposed to find G prime of 0. So G prime of 0 must be the same as f of 0. The graph of f is right here. When x equals 0, the value of f is 1. So if I do that, I get the second point.